Weekly MMA Recap. The UFC Featherweight champion Conor McGregor hinted in his interview with Severe MMA that if he wins the lightweight title at UFC 196, that his next focus will be the welterweight title. This is what he said.
Why not go up? They get slower and they get less free up there, I feel. They're stiffer, they're even more stuck than the lightweight division. So I'll keep going, I'll keep eating, keep training, and keep going until fucking all the belts are wrapped up. How many times have you seen a champion instantly go up? How many years have you heard about super fights, this, that, and nothing? I'm here to win every belt, and then I'm gone. And then I'll see the game later. I'll walk away from this game, I'll set it ablaze, and walk away. And that's it, so.
In the main event of UFC Fight Night 83, Donald Cerrone defeated Alex Olivera by triangle choke at 2 minutes 33 seconds of the first round. In the co-main event, Derek Brunson defeated Roan Carneiro by TKO at 2 minutes 38 seconds of the first round. For the rest of the main card, Cody Garbrandt defeated Augusto Mendes by TKO at 4 minutes 18 seconds of the first round. Bermudez defeated Tatsuya Kawajiri by unanimous decision. Camozzi defeated Joe Riggs by TKO at 26 seconds of the first round. And James Crass defeated Shane Campbell by unanimous decision. Here are the results from the prelims. In the main event of Bellator 149, Royce Gracie defeated Ken Shamrock by TKO at 2 minutes 22 seconds of the first round. Ken Shamrock complained that Royce Gracie kneed him in the groin just before the fight was stopped. A replay later would show that Ken Shamrock was correct. Gracie did knee him in the groin. The fight should have been paused to allow Shamrock to recover from the low blow, but the ref wasn't in a position to see it. In the co-main event, Kimbo Slice defeated Dadab 5000 by TKO at 1 minute 32 seconds of the third round. Both fighters exhausted themselves in round 1 and it turned into a very slow-paced fight. UFC commentator Joe Rogan called it the worst fight he's ever seen. For the rest of the main card, Derek Campos defeated Melvin Goulart by TKO at 32 seconds of the second round. Linton Vassell defeated Emmanuel Newton by unanimous decision, and Emmanuel Sanchez defeated Daniel Pineda by split decision. Former UFC Featherweight champion Jose Aldo said Conor McGregor will have no belts by the end of the year. He said Rafael dos Anjos will beat Conor McGregor at UFC 196 and he will defeat him in a rematch for the featherweight belt later this year. Former UFC bantamweight champion Ronda Rousey appeared on the Ellen DeGeneres show and talked about her loss to Holly Holm at UFC 193. During the interview, Ronda Rousey got emotional and said that she had suicidal thoughts and felt like killing herself due to her loss. Former UFC heavyweight champion Brock Lesnar had some words of encouragement towards the former champion. This is what he said.
Well, I'm a big fan of Ronda's and have been since the beginning. And I think one thing that I learned, and she should have learned a long time ago, is that you have to learn how to lose before you can actually win. And that was one thing that my coach taught me when I was at a very young age, because I was a bad loser. Whenever I'd get beat, you've got to be able to get back on the horse. And this life is very precious and very short. And one fight isn't going to make or break her career. I think that she's got a long, she's just got to get back on the horse again and figure it out, and she will.
Rafael dos Anjos has brought in Lyoto Machida to help him prepare for his second UFC lightweight championship defense against Conor McGregor at UFC 196. Both Aljamain Sterling and Alistair Overeem have signed new contracts with the UFC. UFC heavyweight Alistair Overeem has announced that he will headline UFC's debut in the Netherlands against former UFC heavyweight champion Andrei Arlovski, who is also his teammate. Alistair Overeem is currently on a 3-fight win streak and recently defeated Junior Dos Santos by knockout in the third round. The UFC has postponed BJ Penn's return due to allegations of sexual assault made by a former employee. The UFC is currently investigating the situation. Wanderlei Silva is no longer banned for life for fighting in the United States. The Nevada State Athletic Commission has reduced his sentence to 3 years. Quinton Rampage Jackson has agreed to a settlement agreement with Bellator and is going back to the promotion with a new 2-fight contract. Nate Diaz has his eyes set on Eddie Alvarez, who recently beat Anthony Pettis. This is what he posted on his Instagram. Former UFC bantamweight champion TJ Dillashaw is done being nice. This is what he posted on his Twitter. Former UFC middleweight champion Chris Weidman has gone to Frankie Edgar's trainer Mark Henry for his camp for his rematch against UFC middleweight champion Luke Rockhold at UFC 199. Tito Ortiz and King Mo got into a confrontation at the Bellator fan event. This is what happened.
There was backstory with the fact that Kilo Slice was the godfather of this game.
All this you talk about is like
no,
even though one of this, no one knows who the fuck you are. No, I'll meet you with the fucking we can touch shows. We can touch shows. We can touch that. No one knows who you are. No one cares. No one knows who you are. No one who you are. Except if I would do shit about your ass, I would fuck you up. I would fuck you up. No one cares. No one cares about you.
Exactly.
No one cares. No, you ain't shit.
I would watch you walk back and forth and nobody would ask you for nothing. Who the fuck?
No one asked you for nothing. You're right. No one knows. Hey, no one asked for nothing.
All right, guys. Here's your 15 seconds. Here's Mo's fucking 15 seconds.
You wanted to your last 3 fights. You ain't done nothing.
Here's your chance. You got your chance. Yay! Bud got his chance. 15 seconds.
Bellator President Scott Coker announced on Thursday that he will be launching Bellator Kickboxing. Bellator Kickboxing will operate under K1 rules. This will allow Bellator fighters to compete in both MMA and kickboxing. UFC lightweight Gleason Tebow has admitted using banned substances and will not appeal the suspension. He last fought Abel Trujillo and tested positive for EPO. USADA has officially suspended him for 2 years. UFC lightweight Bobby King Green gets a whole head tattoo. Conor McGregor gets a sculpture made of him. Fights announced this week. Anthony Pettis vs Edson Barboza. Andre Fili vs Yair Rodriguez. Jessica Aguilar vs Juliana Lima. James Vick vs Glacio Franca. Dominique Steele vs Danny Roberts. And Kevin Lee vs Efraim Escudero have been announced for UFC 197. Alistair Overeem vs Andrei Arlovski, Antonio Silva vs Stefan Struve, and Yan Cabral vs Reza Madadi have been announced for UFC Fight Night 87. Phil Davis vs King Mo has been announced as the main event of Bellator 154. Michael Chandler vs Josh Thompson has been announced for an event on May 14th. Patrick Cummins vs Antonio Rogerio Nogueira, Wally Alves vs Brian Barberina, and Yancy Medeiros vs Francisco Trinaldo have been announced for a UFC Fight Night event which has yet to be announced on May 14th. Court McGee vs Santiago Ponzinibbio and Cesar Ferreira vs Chao Magales have been announced for UFC on Fox 19. Thank you for watching this week's weekly MMA recap. If you liked this video, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, please hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for next week's MMA release. Thank you.